What's going on, guys? We are the Ordinary Guys. My name's Chris.
I'm Dion.
And let me first start off by saying our apologies, guys. We didn't put out an episode last week, but that was because, surprise, we're in a new location. So that's the reason we ended up missing.
Studio going now, finally.
Yeah. It's still a little bit of
it's a work in progress.
Exactly. Still got a little bit of work to do, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, this is our permanent digs for now. Yeah.
For now.
So is it permanent?
Well, I mean,
this is where we're gonna be for a while.
For a while.
Exactly.
All right, man. What do we got?
Well, Wakanda Forever is coming out. It was already out, actually. I have not seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Definitely gonna go see it soon. But there's been some chatter on the internet that I've heard. I don't know if you've heard about it. I think I told you a little bit about it. There was this one lady. I don't know her name, and I don't want to shout her name out anyway. She pretty much said, I'm not saying this verbatim, but this is like, kind of like saying kind of what she said.
Okay. Come on, spit it out.
Pretty much, she said that that if you are a ally of black people, or you associate with Black Lives Matter or whatever, just pretty much buy a ticket and do not go. She's saying, pretty much telling white people not to go, to buy tickets and give it to either a black person or a black family that cannot afford to go, and then go sit outside the theater and make sure that they are able, us as black people, are able to watch the movie in peace. What do you feel about that? I think it's ridiculous, man. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Tell me why I just pictured like Aunt Karen coming out of the Lucky Charms box saying stupid, obnoxious stuff, bro.
That's what it is, man. That's exactly what it is.
I just here's the one thing that I just don't understand. Why do people have to go out of their way and make a huge spectacle over something so insignificant? Really,
they're attention seeking. That's why. Look, this is what I don't understand. Pretty much, you're saying that we can't afford our own tickets. Like, what are you saying? That's not, you're kind of like downing black people. Like, we can't afford our own tickets, so we need white people to buy
I don't
tickets
know
for us.
if her intention was to not try and come off as racist.
Right.
But
it's extra racist.
That's exactly
failed at that attempt.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of white friends. I would rather them go spend money and go patronize the movie to support it. Like, why would you tell them not to go and see it? You want as many bodies there as possible to make this movie succeed.
Yeah.
Like, what she's doing is counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense.
I guess it's just because I'm so used to, I guess, to put it simply, I tend to just mind my own business.
Right.
I'm not gonna go over here and make some type of comment that has no weight to it at all. Right. It's like you're just being another Karen. Right. That's all it is.
Exactly. I mean, she does not speak for the black population. Put it like that. It's like, you don't speak for me. You don't speak for anyone that I know. If this is how you feel personally, then say that's how I feel that you should do. You know what I mean?
Imagine. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Imagine. I'm assuming she has a job, obviously, right?
Hopefully.
So imagine this lady goes over to work, right?
Right.
And she's kind of like looking all around, has a ticket in hand,
right.
And then she runs across over to a black guy, right? Mm-hmm. And hey, by the way, I bought this ticket and well, I was thinking that maybe you can't afford it, or you just whatever the case may be, but here's your ticket.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and provide it to you. How would that come off?
How would she actually feel if a white guy came up to her and said that to her? You look like you probably can't afford to go, so here's this ticket for you.
Here's a couple noodles. You used to eating that, right?
I'm gonna stand outside Make sure you get in there and you have a good time. Like, seriously, come on.
Yeah, I think it was just.
So
a little...
should we have all like not have went to see Shang-Chi? Just like buy tickets and look for any random Asian people. I'm like, oh, here you go. We're gonna sit outside and make sure that you watch your movie in peace.
By the way, that was a really good movie.
Dude, one of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I can't wait till part 2. That was awesome.
Yeah.
They need
But
to do
anyway,
more Marvel movies like that.
yeah.
But, you're crazy, man.
I really don't even know what else to say. I mean, in all honesty, I just think that whole topic is pointless. It's just giving.
But
more.
Do you think she did it just for views?
Honestly, I think
just
so.
to start, like, not even to start a conversation, to start an argument. Almost.
It goes back to the whole conversations that we've been having, since the start of the show. The country is so divided at this point. She's just one of those that I'm gonna go ahead and no, it's not even that. It's one of those individuals that I'm gonna go ahead and draw attention to myself. So I'm gonna throw more wood to the fire. You know what I mean? So that's in my opinion what it is. And at this point, I wouldn't even give it any mind, or I wouldn't give her any mind.
Right.
To be honest,
look, I'm not even gonna say I get what she's saying because it's
stupid.
It's so stupid. It's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have just came out and been like, hey, you know what? Go support Black Panther. If you're white or Asian, no matter what race you are, go out and support it. Because the more people that go and buy tickets, the bigger the movie is, and then the more support it gets.
Yep.
And these are black actors and black producers and directors, and we need this movie to succeed just like the first one did. So why would you tell white people not to go?
That was the dumbest thing you could ever.
That's the population. We should be bringing people together, not trying to separate them more. But that's just my take on it. But,
yeah, moving on, bro. It's
just ridiculous.
I'm sorry. It's just.
And she seemed like she's very intelligent, but that was a very unintelligent thing to say.
Here's to throw more to the topic. We ended up just having a discussion over privilege.
Okay.
In class, right? Okay. And it just seems like she's one of those that she's had everything that she's ever wanted handed to her.
Right.
And at this point, she's just like, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give back to the black community because of everything that's going on.
Right.
It's like, come on.
That's not.
I understand you. And look, let's put it on the other side of the token, right? Maybe she wasn't trying to do anything with any ill will.
Right.
But still, it's like you're just drawing attention to yourself. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a whole exactly. Look, I don't think she meant anything like negative by it. I mean, her comments were very irresponsible. You know what I mean? Like she
irresponsible and ignorant.
Yeah. Well, she could have. I mean, did she even like?
You're at that point.
Look, what she posted or?
No, I didn't see it. I just went by what
her herself. Did she even like? Okay, she of course she recorded it, but did she play it back and like, okay, do I sound like an idiot? Or do I feel 100%?
I would hope that at this point she did,
you know what I mean? Because
did she like draw up any type of statistics to come to her conclusion, or what would be the case? At this point, it's like I said, bro. It seems like she's ignorant.
I just feel like that. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Don't speak for anyone else. Don't speak for the black community. Speak for yourself. If that's how you feel personally, keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to hear that. We're not here for that. Anyway, moving on. Procrastination.
Talking about class.
Right? Yeah. Procrastination. I do it. I'm sure you've done it. How do you get past it? And how do you move forward?
Honestly, I think it's one of those where I can't really focus.
Right.
At some point. I multitask like no other.
Right.
So say for instance I start a project let's just use this as an example of me cleaning this room, right?
Okay.
Like within half an hour, I'll stop and then I'll go downstairs and start cleaning the kitchen.
Right.
45 minutes in, I'll stop and then I'll come upstairs and do laundry.
Right.
And so, and then I guess it's a type of procrastination because I'm putting it off when I know that at the end of the day, I have to get it done.
Right.
You know, but at the same side of that, I mean, I guess I do it too often, but it's just due to the fact that I there's so much that I have to do, so much to get done. So that's why I do it, to be honest.
I mean, I don't
or
know.
going back to school.
Oh yeah.
I just don't want to do homework.
I feel you there. Definitely feel you there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me personally, I do it quite a bit. I'm a dad, you know, husband, all that stuff. There's just things I don't want to do, and I mean, my intentions are good. My intentions are to get it done, and I'll even, like you said, I'll even start it, but then like I'll wait till the very last minute or hour that I have to do something. Okay, I gotta do something. I'll have 2 days, right? I'll wait to the second day, like to the hour before I gotta go do something, like, oh, crunch time. Let me go do this now. You know what I mean? It's like, why do I do that? Like, why do I put so much stress on myself at the last second? And I have
do you
all
think
this
it's
time,
just
bro.
because you're so driven by a challenge, maybe?
Possibly. Like,
Because
what can I do in this amount of time?
Here's a good example of that. Back in high school, obviously, you know they go by what is it, like quarters or whatever, right?
Right.
So anyway, the very last one before we ended up graduating, I ended up noticing I was sitting at a GPA of like 2.7.
Okay.
And it was just because I was missing school, wasn't turning in the homework, and then when I started seeing, bro, that oh, this is going to affect me. If I don't get this done, I'm not going to graduate.
Right. Yeah.
So, and it's repeating itself all over again. So anyway, crunch time, bro. I started putting in extra credit. I started turning in all the homework, you name it,
Right.
in order for me to get everything done, right? I ended up graduating with 3.8 GPA
You could have been that the whole time.
the entire time.
A lot of times people let negative thoughts or thoughts of failure like inhibit them from completing a task or starting something. You know what I mean? It's that fear of failure that I think a lot of people don't want to embark on something new. It's something new, so you know it's the unknown, so you don't want to fail at something that you've never done. But how are you going to learn it?
That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it.
That's how I think of it now. As I'm getting older,
I never really saw it in that perspective.
You know, so I mean, I'm as I get older, I'm trying to see things in a different perspective.
Well, you have to. I mean,
You know, that's how you grow.
With
you know?
age, obviously, there's more experience that you take in. So, the older you get, the wiser you get. You know,
Like it says, success takes time. It's not going to happen overnight.
right?
So you got to pace yourself, because if you don't pace yourself, then as fast as you get it, it's as fast as it can go.
That's right.
You know. But yeah, man. I mean,
I'm so stuck on the fact that for me it's just that it's just a challenge,
right.
because then once I'm done with everything, it's like I just feel so much more accomplished.
Right.
But then, and this is the one thing that my mom, she always kept on telling me, she's like, well, why do you do that to yourself when you know that it's so unnecessary, and then you're over here jumping through hurdles
You stretch yourself
when you
out.
could have easily been doing what you needed to do and get it done in a timely manner.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
I mean-
It's just, to me, like I said, I think it's just the whole challenge concept
Yeah.
is what gets me going.
My mother used to tell me, you don't utilize your time correctly. And it's true. Like my mother was meticulous at everything done in order, and so she has time to go back and look at it and make sure everything is done correctly.
Right.
Dot all the T's and cross all the. Did I just say that? Dot the T's.
You did.
Dot the I's, cross the T's, whatever.
Dot the T's.
See how confusing it is? Anyway, dot all the I's, cross all the T's. And me, I was the opposite. I would wait until it was crunch time, and I would be like racking my brain and going crazy, getting this done, and things that I couldn't get done. I would pretty much be pulling my hair out because I know I had all this time and I just couldn't do it.
Right.
I didn't do it, and yeah, man, it's I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
It's ironic how the older people back when we were younger kept on giving us advice, and then here we are giving the same advice to our kids.
Yeah.
It's and mind you, the fact that I don't know about you, but I know for me for sure, I was so, what's the word I'm looking for? Stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't listen. Hey, whatever. She don't know any
all
better.
the answers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then years later down the line, I was actually just talking about that with my wife last night, and I was just like, that's crazy, because never would I have imagined that years down the road I'm doing exactly what I was taught to do.
Yeah.
Because like it finally clicked at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, mom was right.
Yeah.
It should be doing this way.
And it's crazy, like when you come to that epiphany, it's like, wow, like, and you really sit back and you realize, like, I'm doing exactly the same. I'm saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
that they told me, and I thought I knew it all, and I knew nothing.
Now going back to the whole procrastination thing, and the reason why I mentioned is because the same thing. I had a conversation with my wife last night. I was telling her, I was like, you know what? I need to really focus in on what the important tasks are, knock those out first, and then move it along.
Okay.
Because at the end of it all, I'm just gonna be sitting here, and then nothing's ever gonna get done, no matter how much I'm doing. Say if I've been working on 15 tasks, what good is it gonna do me when none of the 15 I get done? Right. So just food for thought.
Holidays coming up. Thanksgiving's coming up. You doing anything? Anything fun? Or are you going traveling? Or are you gonna stay home?
Sticking my head in a turkey.
It's better than saying anything else in there.
This ain't no American Pie movie, bro.
Oh man. Whole new meaning of stuffing.
No. In all honesty, I really don't know. I mean, it's just gonna be my wife and I. Probably just cook up the regular stuff.
Does she usually cook, or do you cook?
It's usually her.
Okay.
So it's probably gonna be just turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, probably some pie of some sort. Hopefully pumpkin pie. Although you know what? What? This is okay. Because I've asked some people this too. All right, go. I don't know if this is just like a black family thing, but are you going with sweet potato? Yes. No, that's where I was gonna go to. Those are my two options, bro. Okay. Those are my go-tos. I either go with pumpkin pie or I go with sweet potato pie. Have you ever tried sweet potato fries? Yeah, bro. I don't know why I love them both. I don't like them too, bro. So I do. Look, there's a lot of black people. Oh, because there's black people at work and white people at work, of course. So I asked all the white people, hey, for Thanksgiving, you guys do pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie? They're like, oh, pumpkin pie, of course. Other guy, hey, sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? Pumpkin pie. Go in and have some random black people come in. Hey, for Thanksgiving, sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? Sweet potato pie. It's like every black person said sweet potato pie, every white person said pumpkin pie. It's been a mixture for me, but I think it's probably because of the area that I've lived in my entire life. So the majority, like I'll no jokes, Maybe about 90 to 95% of the people, whether they be black or white or Hispanic or what name you, all the people that I've ever talked to always pumpkin pie. But I think it's just because it's so, I guess, normal.
It's just cultural,
right? Yeah.
It's cultural.
But me personally, bro, I could go either way. I could go. If it were my choosing, bro, I'd have one of each.
I mean, look. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had pumpkin pie. I mean, I guess it has to be made a certain way, or because some of them that I tasted, they're like.
Have you ever had it with peaches?
Pumpkin pie with peaches?
No. The sweet potato pie with peaches on top.
No. Sweet potato pie with peaches on top?
You have to try it.
I mean, I make peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler's another one, bro. I have. As a matter of fact, I haven't had some in quite some time.
Bro,
so if you want to make some, you know, it's like
for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna make a big one.
It's like I told you in that one text message. I take donations, so you know.
Just bring it up. Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying, bro.
Hey, well, definitely. I'm gonna make a lot of food. So, I mean, I usually make with my mother is usually with me, but my mother passed recently, so she's not gonna be here for Thanksgiving, of course. She's gonna be here in spirit, of course.
Always.
And for a couple months, I thought about like not doing a Thanksgiving this year.
Well, you and I had a conversation on that, so.
And I do like literally like I'm not even playing. Like I hear her telling me like I better do it. Like she's yelling at me like you better not skip it. You better do it.
You're just gonna feel like a smack upside the head.
Yeah, she's like, you know what to do. I watched my mother for years do a Thanksgiving dinner. So I was always in the kitchen with her, helping out and stuff like that. I would think that my sister would be the one to do it, but my sister's more like, let's go and buy a turkey and just bring it to the house. So me, I'm more like, I'll take my time and just do it.
It just doesn't taste the same when you go and buy things out.
I don't eat ham.
I don't either.
But I bought a ham because my sister-in-law, they eat ham.
Yeah.
When I did eat ham, I make the best fucking ham ever, bro. So good. I can still taste it, and I haven't eaten it in like years. But I'll still make it because people that come over, they almost expect it. But that's the last thing that I make because I don't want it to cross-contaminate with anything else. But it's gonna be there. But I'll definitely bring you and your wife some peach cobbler, man.
That'd be some good stuff, dude. I remember the very first time I ever tried any was with vanilla ice cream.
Of course,
bro.
It's warm with vanilla ice cream on top.
Dessert you can have,
bro.
Yeah,
bro. I used to put it like for my kids. I used to put like in cups. And put the ice cream on top of the whipped cream.
Yeah,
go to town, bro.
I know that's how. Yep, I remember exactly how. Yeah, that's how I tried it.
Yeah, food brings us together, man. That's one thing that brings everyone together.
That's true.
And I think we need more of that. It's been like a tough few years, especially for going through the pandemic and all that stuff, and everyone is divided, bro. We all need to come together, man. Like it's been too divided, so it's like.
Well, it's going back to the whole conversation that we just had about that lady, right?
Right.
It's a shame that whether you turn on the news, you hear a radio broadcast, you go on YouTube, whatever the case may be, and I'm telling you this because this is actually something that the class opened me up to, is to really analyze what's going on throughout across all platforms, right? And I was just like, holy hell, it's true. Like whether you turn on the TV, you turn on the radio, you have your phone on, all of a sudden it's like, depending on what your viewpoints are towards, then all of a sudden, say for instance, right, just as an example, CNN will be on your Instagram, right? And they'll like give you a little bit of snippets here and there,
right?
Or like you'll turn on the TV and all of a sudden it's like Fox News or whatever, So, and then now going to the whole point is that no matter which you turn on, you start hearing either one side or the other,
right?
And it's not in the sense of we need to create unison
Right.
and really be together. It's like, oh,
Our
you know,
side
they,
and no side.
exactly.
Yeah. And they always lead with, oh, this is the most balanced like news broadcast, blah, blah. It's not balanced. It's not at all. Because you're perpetuating a certain ideology because this is what you guys do.
Do you think everyone just needs a pie?
Probably. Probably everyone just needs to sit down at a table with some good food and just talk.
Do you think everyone just needs some peach cobbler?
I think everyone needs yes. Everyone needs a mug of
Just
some
give
peach
them
cobbler,
like
some
2
ice
months
cream.
2 months worth of peach
cobbler?
cobbler.
Good God. Everyone would be
everyone
diabetic.
would just shut the hell up.
Everyone would be in a diabetic coma.
Spoonful,
Good Lord, bro.
you know.
Oh, man.
All right. Anyway. Damn. Now I want some peach cobbler.
Yeah, man. I'm actually really hungry.
All right. What else we got?
Well, something that you kind of like put me up on. It's called The Hate You Give.
Oh, the movie that the little snippet.
I've never seen it. I've never seen that.
I actually was. I'm gonna be watching it tonight.
Okay.
I've never watched it. It was a movie clip that they ended up mentioning in class, and anyway, since you have a little bit more of experience with that same thing, because I remember we ended up talking about this.
Right.
I think it was the first or second podcast. I'll let you do the honors and mention what we're talking about.
Well, it's the talk that you have. Well, most Black and Latino fathers have, especially if you have a Black son or a Latino son. The talk is pretty much how to respond when being approached by a police officer. I've had to. My son is 14. I had this talk with him when he was 12, and it's like you shouldn't have to tell your kid. I mean, my kid is very respectful. Kids know to be respectful. Most kids know to be respectful to their elders.
Mm-hmm.
This generation is a little different than our generation was, but for the most part, they are expected to be respectful to their elders.
Right.
And I just pretty much had to tell my son like when if you're ever in a car with friends and you guys get pulled over, make sure your hands are on the dashboard or where they can be seen. Don't be fidgeting around and don't reach for anything, because when police come up to you, a lot of police, they're very wary about what's going on. They don't want to get hurt, and they don't walk around trying to hurt people. Their thing is to protect you. For the most part. At least 99% of them, I believe. But always have your hands where they can be seen. Don't move around too much. You answer yes, officer, no, officer. I told him, I want you to be able to make it home.
That's crazy that we end up having to have those conversations within our families, because I remember with me, since I obviously was always in and out of LA, because most of my family's out there.
Right.
So I remember I may have been like, I want to say 6-7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle ended up, he used to live off of Western. And so he ended up pulling me aside. He's like, "Here, come here. I need to have a talk with you." And so he's like, "Do you know what you're supposed to do if, say, for instance, you and I were to go like to the liquor store and go grab something real quick? What you need to do if the police were to pull us over?" And it's just like, the heck,
Right.
you know, like,
thinking like, why would anything?
yeah, because I mean, I've never. At that point, I mean, I was only, again,
So you never
7,
thought
8
about
years
it?
old.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind.
Right.
So I was like, why is this?
A thing.
Yeah. So, I shook my head. No, I was like, no. So then he ended up mentioning, he's like, "Look, kid," he's like, "when you're out here visiting," he goes, "it could happen at any given moment.
Right.
So all you gotta do is just stay quiet unless they talk to you, make sure that you stay still, you're not moving around, you're not trying to grab for anything, especially. And so they kept on trying to I guess, train me in that mindset, right, for years on end. And then as I was growing up, you know, I mean, there's so many movies out there that are an example of that. I could name 2 off the top of my head right now, as a matter of fact. What's that one movie? I was just wearing the shirt. Boys in the Hood is one. And then Menace to Society is another one.
They're called Growing Up in the Hood movies.
Yeah, pretty much. But in all reality, though, I started, you know, thinking about it. I was like, it's true. Because I remember at the age of, I want to say maybe 17, 18 years old was the very first time that I actually had to experience something like that.
Right.
And it was with me driving, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I was driving out, and I wasn't even in LA yet. I was in LA County.
Okay.
You know that exit right before Reseda?
Yeah.
Okay, so CHP pulls me over, bro.
Okay.
And mind you, I hadn't been doing anything wrong. No tinted windows at the time because I was driving a Honda Civic, right?
You're talking about Tampa, right?
Huh?
Tampa.
Yes.
Tampa.
Think, yeah. So no tinted windows. The car wasn't modified. Nothing.
Right.
I was doing the speed limit because I was in the slow lane. So because I was just like, there's no point in me trying to rush over there. I'm in a rush.
Right.
So anyway, caught the entire time as I'm already pulled over out to the side. I'm looking at him, and I started getting nervous because guess where his hand was at?
On his gun.
On his gun.
Yeah.
And he's questioning me, where do I live? What am I doing out here? If I had anything to drink, had I been smoking? And then there came the big question, may I search the vehicle?
Like, for what reason?
Exactly. And so I was like, well, what probable cause do you have in order for you to search the vehicle? It's like there's no smell of anything. I don't seem as if I'm under the influence. I'm not swerving in and out of traffic. I'm not speeding. You know, no tinted windows. There's no modifications on the car. So what probable cause do you have?
Right.
You know, he kind of stared at me, and it was because of the fact that I had already been interested in studying the criminal justice system. So I kind of knew my way in, you know, in and out of the questions.
Right.
So, but I'm not gonna lie to you, with that experience, you know, and due to the fact that this entire interaction that I'm having with this individual, he has his gun, or he has his hand on his gun.
Yeah.
So
ready,
and then so a couple days after that, you know, after that whole ordeal, those movies came to mind. I was like, that's why.
Yeah.
Because it's true, man. I mean, whether it be a black person or a Hispanic, is and I mean, I'm just putting facts out there, right? It's been demonstrated time and time again. Stuff like that doesn't happen to white people.
No, it doesn't. But you know what? A lot of times, well, like you said, it doesn't really happen to them. I have white friends, of course, at work, that I've actually asked them, like, you have kids, like, what do you explain to your kids when dealing with the police if they get pulled over? It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you tell your son to do or your daughter to do when they get pulled over? You don't tell them anything. I'm like,
okay, here's
you don't tell them to, like,
here's another
polite. No,
example.
they already know to be polite. Say yes, officer, no, officer, and that's it.
Here's another example. There was a kid that I used to hang out with quite a bit from middle school to all through high school, right? A little bit after we ended up graduating, and white kid, red hair, green eyes. You could straight out tell that he's a white boy, right? So we're driving, and this is off of Westlake Boulevard, bro. And you know that area is a bunch of rich people, right?
Yeah.
So the sheriff's department pulls us over.
Okay.
And I had warned the kid too, and I was like, look, bro, I was like, I know that, because he used to have a BMW at the time. I was like, look, man, I was like, I know that you're enjoying your drive or whatever. I was like, but we're in a different area than what we're used to. I was like, you need to slow down. Don't worry about it. I got it. No worries. Okay. Sure enough, about maybe 20 minutes into the drive, like I said, sheriff pulls us over, right? They had a full-on conversation as if they knew each other. Kid wasn't breaking a sweat. I didn't see that the officer was like in an aggressive manner whatsoever.
No hand on the gun.
Super
nothing.
Chill.
Yep.
And I was like, why is it that the interaction that I've had different than?
Well, first of all, it's been studied, like, most of the time when cops pull over a fellow white person, they don't feel it is a threat. But when they pull over black or Latino, they automatically think, okay, I need to be on the ready just in case. But a lot of it has to do with what's going on in the black community as well, though. I can't just put all the fault on the cops. Like, black people, not black people in general. I'm not going to generalize, but there are a lot of people in the black community that are not doing good things. They're shooting people and they're up to no good. It happens in a lot of races, but it's happening a lot in black community. I mean, look at Chicago. I mean, like they said,
did you hear about Chicago PD? By the way, sorry to change the subject, but they're dropping like flies. Officers are, and I'm not saying like death tolls or not. No, they're quitting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's becoming like outlaw town, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, I would not want to live there at all.
With what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I mean, Chicago's always been known to have a high crime rate.
Yeah,
but I'm sure, like, if you were to look at the statistics now, I'm sure it's increased.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I have a feeling it's probably over 35%.
This is why we need to get the DA out of Los Angeles. The current DA, he needs to go, because he's not prosecuting anyone that's doing anything. They feel emboldened to do whatever they want to do.
Well, it's different. It's different here in California, though, bro.
Right.
It's different here in California, and only because, again, that's what I majored in. But anyway, if you look at the inmate toll and compare it from California across the board to other states, California is the one that's overpopulated by the numbers. And I understand, right, that they're not prosecuting, but at the same time too, it's like reform is needed.
But it's
severely.
But you know what, the current economic, the economical shit that's going on right now in the country is, well, especially in California, is that it's actually making more people more desperate. The way inflation is and how expensive everything is, and people are getting pretty much ran out of their apartment. They can't afford to live where they live anymore.
That's true.
And rent is about to go up again, another $150. It's like people are getting desperate, bro. Like, there was just an increase in the cost of living or whatever, but now inflation is going up. That totally eliminated anything that just happened.
Well, it's a conversation that we've had before, and
but it's still
I know that for the bigwigs upstairs, it has its purpose, right?
Of course it does,
but they're not seeing the repercussions that us people down at the bottom of the ladder, the stuff that we're having to endure. So, but anyway, now going back to what you just said right now, I get it. They ended up even increasing the minimum wage, but it's not balancing anything.
Of course not. It's not keeping up with the cost of living.
Exactly. If you're over here, you're increasing the value, or sorry, if you're increasing the cost of gas, you're increasing the cost of food, you're increasing the cost of living, rent, right? Bills, as a matter of fact. I remember back maybe about 3 years ago, Spectrum was like maybe $75, and that was for the entire package. You were having TV, internet, and phone, right? Now you're paying that amount only for the internet.
Yeah.
If you want the additional package with TV and landline, you're talking almost up to like $200 a month.
We pay about 130.
Yeah, sounds about right. TV and internet.
TV and internet.
Yeah.
But I need it because when my kids are in school, they have to do a lot of their homework is done over the internet.
Yeah, that it's the same.
The
same thing with us, you know. So I don't know, man. I just I don't see things really getting any better anytime soon.
No, not anytime soon. No.
Especially with how I'm seeing that this division isn't going anywhere.
Right.
I really don't think that there's a quick fix to this.
Yeah, it's gonna take time, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time.
So what else we got on our plate, bro?
No, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything that came to mind?
Not entirely. I mean, we've really
Pretty much hit on everything that we want
Yeah.
to hit on. I didn't know that conversation was going
right
to be
now. I can't wait to go watch Black Adam's, the one movie that I haven't gone and watched yet.
I haven't seen it. I haven't
And
seen Black Adam or
then Black
Panther.
Panther is
Yeah.
the other one. So those are two movies that I'm really looking forward to. The other thing is, I guess if we're gonna make our closing segment here, guys, for you guys, do us a favor. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like the videos.
Hit that
Comment down
notification,
below.
Of course, the
Of
notification
course,
bell.
hit the notification bell. All that's going to be helping us out. We're obviously making changes in order for us to make better content for you guys.
And
so
please leave comments about what you like about the podcast, what you don't like about the podcast, what you think we should be talking about. Or
as a matter of fact, I'll leave this as a challenge for you guys. Top 3. Actually, let's make it top 4 topics that you guys want to go ahead and you guys want us to touch on. I'll go ahead and I'll create a poll later this week.
Okay.
And then out of whatever top choices are,
Right,
we'll go ahead and
talk
we'll
about
cover
those. Okay,
we'll
sounds
cover
good.
those topics next time.
I'll accept that challenge.
All right, guys. With that being said, this was another episode of The Ordinary Guys. Just like that, guys. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
We're out.
Peace out.